Hello guys, in this video we're going to talk about the anterior triangle of neck. So here's the anterior triangle of neck as it is formed by the sternocleidomastoid muscles, midline of the neck and also base of the mandible. So this forms the anterior triangle of neck, and this is the sternocleidomastoid muscles, and this is the superior belly of omohyoid muscles, and here is the anterior belly of digastric muscles while the posterior belly of digastric muscles. So this is the muscles. As we have already discussed about some muscles origin and insertion in the posterior triangles of neck. So if you haven't seen that video, I recommend them to see the posterior triangle of neck first because it will help to understand much better. So let's start with the anterior triangle of neck. So let's start with the boundaries of the anterior triangle of neck. So here's the anterior triangle of neck, and let's start with the boundaries. So this is the front, and in the front there is the anterior midline of the neck. So this in the front there is the anterior midline of the neck, while this is the behind, and in the behind you can see the anterior border of the sternocleidomastoid. So these are the anterior borders while these are the posterior border of the sternocleidomastoid. So on the behind there is the anterior border of sternocleidomastoid muscles, and on the base this is the base, and there is the lower border of the mandible, while apex is formed by the suprasternal knots of manubrium sterni. So this is the apex, and it is formed by the suprasternal knots of manubrium sterni. These are the boundary. Also in here we can see in the front there is the anterior midline of the neck, and behind is the anterior border of the sternocleidomastoid, and base is formed by the lower border of mandible, while apex is formed by the suprasternal knots. Now this anterior triangle of neck is further subdivided into four triangles of neck by the hyoid bone and some muscles. Here's the hyoid bone, and with the help of these muscles such as posterior belly of digastric, anterior belly of digastric, superior belly of digastric, they further subdivide into four types. They are the muscular triangle here, carotid triangle here, submental triangle, submandibular triangle, or digastric triangle. So the muscular triangle, this is the pair triangle because it is also available on the other side of the neck. This is the one side of the neck, so this triangle is also available in the other side of the neck. Also carotid triangle, this is the pair triangle because it's again on the other side of the neck too. And the submandibular or digastric triangle, it is also pair triangle because it's on the other side too. While the submental triangle, this is the single triangle. So let's start with the muscular triangle. So here is the muscular triangle as you can see in the picture. So let's see the boundaries of this triangle. So in the front is the medial line of the neck. So here is the front of the triangle, and in the front is the medial line of the neck, and behind and above is the superior belly of omohyoid. So this is the behind of the triangle, and it's above. So the boundaries is the superior belly of omohyoid, and also behind and below is the anterior border of sternocleidomastoid. So this is the behind and it's below, and the boundary is anterior border of sternocleidomastoid, and the floor is formed by the sternohyoid and sternothyroid muscles. So the floor, this is the floor, and this triangle doesn't contain important nerves and blood vessels. Now let's see the carotid triangle. So this is the carotid triangle as you can see in the picture. So let's see the boundaries of this triangle. So in front and above is the posterior belly of digastric. So this is the in front and above of the triangle, and the boundary is the posterior belly of the digastric, and also in front and below is the superior belly of the omohyoid. So this is the in front and below, and the boundary is the superior belly of the omohyoid muscles, and the behind is the anterior border of the sternocleidomastoid. So this is the anterior border of the sternocleidomastoid, and the floor is formed by the thyroid muscle, hypoglossus muscles, inferior and middle constrictor of the pharynx. So let's see the content of this carotid triangle. This carotid triangle is very important because it contains important nerves and blood vessels. So the first we have is the common carotid artery and its branches, that is external carotid artery and internal carotid artery. And there are also branches of the external carotid artery, which are superior thyroid artery, lingual artery, ascending pharyngeal artery, posterior auricular artery, occipital artery, and facial artery. So these are the arteries, and you can remember with the mnemonic slap on face. S for superior thyroid artery, L for lingual, A for ascending pharyngeal, P for posterior auricular, O for occipital, and face for facial artery. And the veins present in the carotid triangle are the internal jugular vein and its tributaries, while the nerves present here are the vagus nerve, spinal accessory nerve, and hypoglossus nerve. The other structure are also present like deep cervical, lymph nodes, and the apex of the parotid gland. So next one is the digastric triangle. So this is the digastric triangle, and this is formed by the posterior belly of the digastric muscles, anterior belly of the digastric muscles, and the base of the mandible. So let's see the boundary of this triangle. So above is the lower border of the body of mandible. So this is the above, and there is a lower border of body of mandible. And below and behind is the posterior belly of the digastric muscles. So this is the posterior belly of digastric muscle, and below and in front is the anterior belly of digastric muscle. So this is the below and in front anterior belly of the digastric muscles. The floor is formed by the mylohyoid, hypoglossus, mesoconstrictor of pharynx. And the content of the digastric triangle are the blood vessel present in the digastric triangle are the external carotid artery, facial artery, and the vein. And the nerves present in the digastric triangle are hypoglossus nerve. Other structure present in this are the lower part of parotid gland, carotid sheath. This is the submental triangle, and this is the only unpaired triangle, and it is formed by the anterior belly of the digastric and hyoid bone. So let's see the boundaries of this triangle. So the apex is formed by the lower border of symphysis mentae. So here's the apex, and the symphysis mentae is here, which divide the mandible into equal half, and it is formed by the lower border of symphysis mentae. So this forms the apex, and the sides are formed by the anterior belly of digastric. So this forms the sides, and base is formed by the body of an hyoid bone. So this forms the base, and also floor is formed by the mylohyoid muscles. So mylohyoid muscle form. The content of the uh, submental triangles are anterior jugular vein. So the vein present in it are anterior jugular vein and submental lymph node, and the lymph node present is the submental lymph node.